Welcome back, guys. This is Doug with Basement Level Magic. We're back for round one. Won the die roll, and we'll go ahead and play first. I don't think this is a keepable hand. Oh, but then again it is, because I accidentally clicked keep. Well, any land really does make it better. We picked two, and we're in great shape. We are playing 18 lands, so that was not my finest play, but we'll see what happens. So what do we have? The tide caller definitely going to come in handy. We do have our scatter, but only a single mountain, so we're a long way from casting that. So really any land is a definite bonus. Our opponent's going to get a little bit of a slow start too. That's good. And we're playing green-blue. Which actually, it looked like there was a green-blue deck, to be honest. When we were drafting, it looked like there was some cards that would have been very good in green-blue, but we'll see what he put together. Green-blue-red, alright, so converge deck. We'll go and attack in. And pass. Alright, so we did get our island. What do we want to do? 3 mana, our options are play a Helmar Tide Caller, which comes down as a 2/3, but we get no value off of it at this point. We can't cast our Scatter to the Winds, so we're 1 mana short of really being able to do anything. I think if we get the Cloud Manta and the Incubator Drone down on the board, if we draw really land would be fine. I think we're in a good position, but for now I think we just wait. We can block the Tajiru Stalwart as long as he doesn't play a combat trick. He can't kill it. Definitely an awkward keep by accident. It's funny, I play very differently in paper than I do on Magic Online. I feel I'm much more aggressively mulligan when I play in paper for some reason. So Clutch of Currents, unfortunately, we probably just are going to have to use that to buy some time, which is a shame. But the Helmar Tide Caller can't get it back, so it's not terrible. So we'll just go ahead and return the Grove Rumbler to his hand and pass the turn. I mean, we're a tempo deck, so we've gained some tempo. We just haven't been able to take advantage of it. Alright, so we did hit our 4th land. So options are Incubator Drone or Cloud Manta. I think probably we want the Incubator Drone on the board for the additional blocking. And we'll go ahead and pass. We technically have 5 mana available next turn. Hopefully our opponent doesn't hit landfall. I would definitely trade an Incubator Drone and an Eldrazi Scion for a Grove Rumbler if he gives us the option. So no attacks. And we did hit another land, so total of 6 mana truly available. So I think maybe we want to play out the Waving Elemental, because if we ever draw a second island, we can return our Clutch of Currents to our hand and probably get a little more tempo out of that. It's also a pretty decent blocker, and we still don't have double blue for our scatter, so I think it's worth it to sacrifice the Scion to put a little bit bigger body on the board. And even if he plays like a sizable Eldrazi, you know, at least we have the option to return it to his hand, provided it's not like... are there any hexproof? I know Ulamog is indestructible, but he could be returned to his hand as well. Alright, well that was a bummer. No reason not to block. Prevent a little bit of damage. So now I kind of want to play the Halmar Tidecaller to return my Clutch of Currents so I can return my Waving Elemental to my hand. Or I could just use that one. But it is a total bummer to have to do that. But I don't really see any option. The Halmar Tidecaller can still return one of the two. Suppose I should have awakened. I don't know. Can I really afford to lose more lands? Yeah. Well, that's definitely a card that would put you into a Converge deck. Vigilance and Trample. Yeah, so we're gonna lose this game with a grip full of cards because we made that ridiculous keep. I mean, yeah, I could have kept a 3/3 on the board, but what is it gonna do? Chump block it? I mean, I don't really think it would have made much difference if I had awoken that Clutch of Currents. I suppose I could have played the Drowner Pope instead, and then tapped some creatures. I still would have had, what, 2? I could have tapped 2 creatures. That's a possibility. I think we've pretty much lost this one. He just got too far ahead of us. So playing against Converge, I think probably... And we saw 0 combat tricks from him. He just played creatures. Probably the Rush of Ice and the Spell Shrivel are good in this one. I think probably we can take out... Our flyers all seemed pretty good too. And Kozilek Sentinel actually performed very well. Maybe we just play 1 Rush of Ice. Like, the Incubator Drone actually doesn't block much of his stuff very well. It does create some Scions, but I think we need to have a little bit bigger bodies and a little bit more control. The Waving Elemental was a little awkward there, but we were behind the whole game, so. So 2 more cuts. Forest again. This is probably okay. I have the Tide Drifter, I have a Clutch. I actually have a pretty good curve out of this one. So I think we keep this. Fortunately, we leave it out with the Skyline Cascade, but nothing to do about that. Oh, I haven't played Magic Online in so long. I'm like playing very, very sloppy. It's been a little over a week since I actually recorded anything or played. And I totally meant to play the Skyline Cascade first, and it's going to punish me because I can't play the Tide Drifter. Well, at least we'll get the Sky Spawner on curve. And we need to hit a land now. Our opponent hit his lands without a problem. This Sky Spawner of his own. Alright, no land is a bummer. Let's shot for the trades. Totally fine with them at this point. Stuck on mana again. Yeah, From Beyond is going to be a beating. This guy just drew. He just like picked some good cards and then played them all. I want to save the Clutch Occurrence for something a little more relevant. So I guess we'll just try and get in. Opponent's going to outramp us very quickly. I mean, he already has 6 mana available and I'm stuck on 3 again. Apparently it's just the way this night's going to go, though. I did draw pretty well in the first game. I mean, I did get a couple lands when I needed them. I sort of wish I had that Boiling Earth now. So I believe he played the Lifespring Druid to try and get some additional value off of a creature he's about to play. So I think probably it is worth using the Touch of the Void. It's my other option here. Probably I want the Cloud Manta. I think it's highly unlikely my opponent blocks. And I think it's highly unlikely he attacks this turn. Yeah, I think we'll go ahead and play the Cloud Manta. We need another island now. I would love to put another Waveling Elemental on the board. Yeah, Skyrider Elf. Sure, which is why he wanted the the Lifespring Druid on the board before he casts anything. Dampening Pulse as well. That's going to make it very difficult for us to win. Between the From Beyond and the Dampening Pulse, that's like just an absolute beating. That I have no way to interact with in my deck. I've been beaten by just a couple of really good Converge decks, but Skyrider Elf was instrumental in both. Eldrone. Eldrone's a darn good card, but in this particular situation doesn't do us a whole lot of good. I feel like I have to get rid of the Skyrider Elf this turn. So my options are to attack with the Cloud Manta, hope he blocks, and then Touch of the Void it. Or I can Clutch of Currents and remove it, but he can just recast it next turn unless I kill the Lifespring Druid first. See if he lets this through. Yeah. Alright, in that case, what do I want to do? With 5 mana total available, I could Clutch of Currents and Awaken a Mountain. I could Touch of the Void his Lifespring Druid, take 4 damage from the Skyrider Elf, and then Clutch of Currents next turn, and then he could only make it a 3/3. I could just play the Vestige of Emrakul and then try to race him since he's already let me get to 15. I feel like I can always Clutch of Currents him at any point. I feel like maybe the Nettle Drone is the best option right now. Because I feel like he'll start attacking with the Skyrider Elf. I guess we'll see what he plays this turn, and it'll let us know if we made a mistake or not. Yeah, Tichu Stalwart's less of a problem. So my Drowsy Scion with -1 power is sort of useless, so I don't feel all that bad about getting rid of it. So we could Clutch of Currents and Awaken a Mountain this turn. Or because if we don't, we're taking another hit in the air for 4. Being said, I did put the 3rd one in, so I have 3 Clutch of Currents. I mean, there's a good chance we draw another one, and if we draw the Halmar Tidecaller, we can always return one to our hand. So it's a valuable card, but preventing that much damage may just be more valuable. And I could just Clutch of Currents for 1, not Awaken, ping him, and Touch of the Void. Which I think probably gets me a little bit further in the race. So let's say ping our opponent. Touch of the Void his Lifespring Druid. And it puts our first card in exile as well, which is nice. that. But it didn't exile anything, so that sucks. But I can still bounce a Skyrider Elf, which you can only play as a 3/3 now. And we do have to keep attacking, unfortunately. Those signs are just an absolute beating. This Dampening Pulse card is busted. I did have an option to pick it up, so I can't do anything but blame myself. But I have not been able to draw mana this game. Started with 3, turn 8, have 4. So what's that? 7 draws and only 1. Let's see. Alright. Plus I'm playing 2 more islands than I am mountains, and I still can't seem to draw an island to save my life. So now the Wavewing Elemental seems like a better play than the Drowner of Hope. Just because it can block the Skyrider Elf and keep it back. Can't kill it, unfortunately, but it can block it. Jeez. Yeah, Dampening Pulse makes Exert Influence an awful lot better, too. You can steal it as a 2/4, and then he gets it as a 3/4. Which doesn't seem all that fair. So he's managed to out-tempo me, even though I have the tempo deck. And I have nothing exiled, so... This is a super frustrating game that his man has worked out absolutely perfectly in both games. And he's playing 3 colors, and I have barely been able to draw anything. Yeah, I've got no attacks. I need another Clutch of Currents. I need my Wavewing Elemental back if I'm going to have a chance to win. This is a super frustrating game. I think from here on out, our options look pretty good. I mean, I guess a good Converge deck in the pool means that everyone else should have a slightly less good deck. At least if they're in red, green, or blue. Because they were taking, cards from 3 different colors. He could have awakened. I'm surprised he didn't. He would have had to kill a couple Scions, but I mean, he's got an unlimited supply, so we're gonna get beat down by our own Wavewing Elemental. Take 8 this turn. Yeah, there's just not a whole lot we can do. Don't want to prevent the 3 as well. Probably need to save it for the waving elemental next turn. Jeez. Alright, well, I suppose we have to play the Ulamog's Despoiler as a 5/5. Our opponent can simply... Oh. I wonder if he chooses to kill it. Probably means winning the game. We'll play the, I guess it's a 4/5. And we'll see. We have to tap something down. The slab hammer on the waving elemental means it's almost lethal by itself if he drops a land. Bailout's kind of irrelevant. The green is the worst color in Battle for Zendikar, but it is very good paired with other colors. Green blue is not typically one of those colors. Excuse me. Yeah, that makes more sense. Now it's 5/5 attacking either way. But what we don't want is, I'd rather take the 5, because what I don't want is for him to pick up a land and play it next turn. So I'll take the 5 in the air from the waving elemental. And we're probably just dead next turn. Does that make any difference? Not really, right? So now I really... Well, the Drowner of Hope has nothing to sacrifice anyway, so I can't tap anything down. I'm at 5. I can play a second blocker in the air, but either one of his creatures are lethal. So really I just buy myself one turn, and then if he swings with everything, I have to block both in the air. I have to block probably Tide Drifter on the Tajiru Stalwart, and probably the Drowner. So he can get 4 through with just the Scions. And I only kill, and that's if he doesn't play a land. I mean, I guess it's an option to stay alive. So we'll take it, but it's not a good one. Didn't draw a spell shrivel this whole game. Or a whole match, I should say. Yeah, he just took anything that came around that was rare. He got some good ones. Yeah, that should do it actually. He can swing with everything. Now that I'm tapped down, I can't block both of his lethal flyers in the air, so that's game. All right.